records, including emails about Hunter Biden and Burisma. The National Archives reportedly set to release hundreds of pages of White House records, including emails about Hunter Biden and Burisma. The document trove dates back to 2014 when President Biden was Vice President Biden. But will the White House allow those records to go public? One of the questions we are going to ask to Byron York, chief political correspondent for the Washington Examiner and a Fox News contributor. You go public. Reportedly set to release hundreds of pages of White House records, including emails about Hunter Biden and Burisma. The document trove dates back to 2014 when President Biden was Vice President Biden. But will the White House allow those records to go public? One of the questions we are going to ask to Byron York, chief political correspondent for the Washington Examiner and a Fox News contributor. You go public all the time.
Every day.
Make that point. So let's look at this first of all from a 30,000-foot level, because you wrote in the Washington Examiner that House Republicans and the White House are about to go to war over Hunter Biden. What does that war look like?
Well, Republicans in the House start an investigation. The Oversight Committee under James Comer start an investigation. A number of outside groups that favor Democrats, former Democratic activists and like, are currently raising money and planning strategy on ways to attack the investigation. To help Democrats or potential subjects resist subpoenas, to attack the witnesses like Tony Bobulinski, the former Hunter Biden business partner who has had a lot to say, basically do the old-fashioned attack the investigator strategy. We're going to see that. And the biggest challenge that Republicans have is convincing the public that this investigation is really about Joe Biden and not just about Hunter Biden, who doesn't hold a position in the U.S. government.
In fact, that's the point that James Comer is making, saying, this is not about investigating Hunter Biden. This is about investigating the President of the United States to see if he improperly benefited from his son's overseas business dealings. I mean, you can't really make a case if you're the chairman of the Oversight Committee that, we're going to investigate a private individual. You have to say we're investigating a public individual. Yeah. And then if you catch a private individual in the investigation, well, then you got both.
Yeah, well, if you listen to some of the defenders of Hunter Biden, there's a lot of sordid material on the Hunter Biden laptop. He was a crackhead, and they do all sorts of really awful things in the midst of their addiction. And much of that is recorded in pictures and stuff on the laptop. So you're hearing Democrats saying Republicans they just want to expose that stuff. They're just crazed about all the salacious material, and that's all this investigation is about. And Republicans are saying, no, we're interested in bank records, financial records. We want to know where the money went.
So this treasure trove of documents that the National Archives is apparently preparing and may be prepared to release, how hard do you think the White House will fight to keep these from seeing the light of day?
Well, we don't know if it's a treasure trove. I mean, we don't know exactly what it is. It's very interesting. This is a lawsuit filed by a group called America First Legal, which was started by Stephen Miller, the former longtime Trump White House aide. And they did a pretty clever thing, which is file a Freedom of Information Act request for documents that have the word Burisma in it, being the Ukrainian energy company that hired Hunter Biden for at least $50,000 a month to do not much of anything. So the question is, will the White House or the Obama archive turn over this information? There's two ways that they can not turn it over. One, President Biden, the current president, could claim executive privilege over something. It might be a bit of a stretch. And two, anybody who's ever filed a Freedom of Information Act request knows they have ways of not giving you stuff. So it's entirely possible that there could be lots of withholdings just for no particularly good reason.
Or even redactions.
Exactly.
All right. Byron, great to see you.
Good to be here
as well. Thank you. Sandra?